So if I'm a new guy and I'm able to sit with you right now, I'm like, hey Tim, like, what should I do? Like, I really want to get into trading. What are the steps I need to take?
Yeah, well, man, I can think about it in terms of like what I would do differently.
Sure.
Because things are so different now than when I started. You know, I started with pump and dumps being a huge thing, you know, OTC manipulation like crazy. And now that market's a little bit quieter these days, aside from like its occasional, you know, it occasionally gets hot. But
sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing is like if I was starting over now, I had a small account, I would almost have to rule out short selling immediately. Like it's just the brokers these days are not built for small accounts short selling. I'd be doing something similarly. Like I'd be trying to split my money between a couple different accounts. So I'd have, 6-day trades per week instead of 3.
Yep.
It would be entirely focused on the long side. And the challenge there, I think, is that longs are a lot harder than shorts. At least for me, I have a lot more trouble, trying to predict what's today's runner going to be versus, hey, what's today's big extended company with terrible fundamentals that I could try to short. It's a little bit less obvious. It would have to start with the data. I would have to dive straight into, just probably going to Spakit or something like that, downloading anything I can about like, oh, let's find each day's runners and see if I can find things that they had in common. Like maybe they all were low float, maybe they all had some sort of breakout early in the morning and then they had some continuation. I think one of the most important things for me, and this was what was sort of huge for me in growing my account the first time, is that I'm not looking for home runs. Like there'll be some occasional home runs that happen naturally, but really the first goal was consistency. So it was, where am I succeeding? And, am I taking a quick, predictable piece in the move?
Sure.
Or am I holding out looking for, that grand slam trade? Like I would draw parallels to how I traded pumps early in my career, where a new pump would get announced. And sure, this could be a 3-week runner that goes 1,000%, but I'm interested in that predictable 5 to 10 minute spike right when it's announced. Like that's the part of the move I want to nail, and then I don't care what happens after that. So it would have to be something similar with the low floats now, I think. The small cap market, there still is a ton of volatility, a ton of opportunity. It's just, let's find the predictable parts of the opportunity. And that's where I would have to dive in.
I want to take this time to say thank you to our sponsor, Cobra Trading. Cobra Trading is the go-to broker for day traders and short sellers. And I'm not the only one saying this. In fact, Benzinga awarded Cobra Trading as the go-to broker for short selling. They have a heavy focus on direct market access order routing, so you have the fastest execution. They have some of the best locate prices and availability. They also have amazing customer service. I've experienced many different brokers, and it's why I use them every single day and why I'm proud to have them as our sponsor. Sign up now by clicking the Be The Trader referral link below and earn 1 free month of software with Cobra and 25% off all commissions. Now let's get back to the show. Would there be any other steps when it comes to, like, I don't know if you're a reader, I don't know, but are there any books that would have stood out to you, maybe that you would read right away if you were new? I
mean, I didn't get much from books the first time around. It was more useful to me in the middle of my career when I needed to fix my, psychology.
Sure.
And then that was Daily Trading Coach. That was
great book.
A great book for sure.
100%.
Honestly, if I'm starting over, if I have limited money, I don't know if I'm even signing up for a service. I think there's so much free content out there these days on YouTube. I think I'm just, scouring YouTube channels looking for anybody who's, a reputable long trader. And when I say reputable, I mean it's very, very important to make sure that you are not diving into someone's videos where they make their money because they piggyback off of, all their sheep pushing the play after they announce a pick.
Yes.
There's way too much of that out there these days.
And that's so hard to, how would someone distinguish that? Like as a new person, like you don't know. It's really hard to see that.
I think you kind of just have to look at, maybe look at their page a little bit. Like, what are they trying to sell? Or like, if it's really, like, oh, we give alerts, we give trade alerts, you can follow our alerts. Like, that's a bad sign. That's, and you know what? It could also be opportunity, because what if that's your little 2 to 3 minute scalp opportunity right there? If you try to figure out how to be quicker than the next guy, following some guy's alert and then selling it a couple minutes later, it's just more like, okay, I'm not going to get sucked into this to the extent of, oh, let's follow this guy's alert and then wait until he says he sold and then it's time to sell and do thing for thing what he said. I mean, I would be much more interested in trying to learn patterns that people teach. A lot of people have put in a lot of time and done a lot of work trying to figure out the market.
Yep.
And then some of them are kind of scammy. Some of them are, nice enough to try to share and give back 100%. And help others out. So, just lots of screen time, lots of YouTube, lots of, just figure out where can I find something that clicks and gives me a little bit of an aha moment.
Something that stood out to me though is when you said, I wouldn't be going for home runs. And when you said that, I'm very curious, would you say you wouldn't be as focused on the idea of I need to make 3-1, 2-1, and you would just be more focused on I need to be consistent? Is that what you mean? I'm just curious.
I think because of my history and how I kind of started, I was a lot more of a win rate person than a risk reward person. I mean, I don't think either approach is wrong.
Sure.
But I think with the small account where you have the limited trades, you probably want to be right more often than not. And with the consistency also comes confidence. It'd be, I think you almost more look for the home runs if you're looking for a 3-1 risk reward, because that's what's going to carry you. Yeah. So, and the problem with that is that some markets are great for home runs, some markets are not. So like maybe you can get something that averages to 3-1 overall over the course of a year, but what if you're starting and you're in a cold environment and those big wins aren't there? Well, then you're just taking paper cut.
And if you're new and you only have a limited supply, that can be really tough.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
And like we talked in a previous episode about confidence, now it can really start to just derail you. Even if you have something that works, that could be a quick recipe to be out of the game.
For sure. So I definitely think I'd be trying to keep it to let's have a high win rate, let's try to be consistent, and let's keep a narrow focus, 1 to 2 setups at most. And then, once you start to get your feet under you, branch out from there. That's the part of the process I would repeat over.
Yeah, 100%. I'm glad you said it's... I wanted to say it, but I didn't want to say it, so I'm glad you did, because it helps me understand how I think. Because I know I've ran into the issue personally, where I was always stuck on 3-1, 2-1, 3-1, 3-1. And that works until it doesn't, and then you start to realize, like, I think I'm just shooting for home runs. At least for me, that was a weakness of mine, because I was constantly going for 3-1, and then I'd have great trades where I'd be up 1-1, 1.5, but I'm like, no, I'm going for 3-1 only. And then that slowly evolved for me as going for home runs. You know? So you nailed that on the head. So thank you so much for sharing that, because it helps me see it again from a different person's perspective. And it helps me see like, okay, I need to make adjustments too. So thanks again, brother. If you have any questions at all, check out Tim Grittani. We're gonna have links to his social media below. But again, thanks again, bro. Thank you for watching to the end of this video. I wanna let you know that we wanna help you reach your 2023 goals by giving away 10 bullet journals, one every single day until January 20th, Monday through Friday. Damn! All you have to do is comment below why you think you should win and click the link to enter. Thanks.